So in my attempts to like step by step folks through this process of like, here are some signs of depression, here's how to maybe bring it up, like the very basic things of like depression literacy. I don't know if that's a term. And I've delayed doing this last topic because it is by far the most difficult one and the one people have the most questions about, which is, how do you help? I think a good thing to remember is not to like walk on eggshells. Remember that they are a person first and then like a person with depression second. Just treat them normally. Go with them to the gym, go get food, go visit puppies, like go to a bookstore, take their mind off things. Be okay with long bouts of silence and don't, as much as you can, don't freak out about tears, because sometimes that'll just happen. Make them feel as normal as the situation allows, but don't expect them to act neurotypical, i.e. the way someone without any like brain differences from what we consider the norm would act, because they do have brain differences. There's something physically going on in their head that like you need to be aware of in how you treat them. Their depression is like trying to frame their entire life around itself and trying to convince them that like they shouldn't engage in anything and that anytime they like seek help or receive help, they're just being a burden. These messages depression sends are incredibly insidious, so try not to give it any help by doing things like making every interaction about the person's depression or framing situations as a, here, I will come in and I will help you. Because as much as you may do that from a place of love, it can feed into the depression narrative of like, you're irreparably broken, you're just a burden on the people around you, this will never go away, depression is everything. And that is certainly not something that you want to do. In thinking of the ways that their brain might be working differently, it is probably a good idea to offer specific help, because if you just say like, I'm here when you need me, that depressed brain is not going to latch onto that with like, oh, I will ask for this thing in the future. So pitch in to help clean, go with them to the grocery store, do their dishes, give them rides, look up therapy places with them. Do things that are easy for you but difficult for them. Saying concrete things you can do to counter the things they are finding difficult is amazing. Like if they're having trouble finding motivation to go to class, you can be like, I can wait outside your building with tea and hugs to kind of encourage you to make it there. Pray for them if that's something you do. Offer to go to therapy with them, just to listen to them, talk about like anything from how terrible they're doing to how silly this YouTube video is. Send them random like texts and encouragement and gifts, just like as reminders of the fact that you care about them, and just like little ways to make their day better, because like things that would normally be like, oh, this was a fun pick-me-up, sometimes when you're depressed you're like, this is the thing that will get me through the week. But also respect when they just want to be a potato and curl up and be sad, because sometimes that is all they can do, and then all that you can do in that situation is be present. You are not responsible for healing them or making things better. Being there is like above and beyond the call of duty in the first place, so do not think that you are like not doing enough. Be an anchor. In this nautical metaphor, depression is like a barrage of waves trying to push them away from the core place of like truth and happiness and satisfaction and energy and self-esteem, and you are trying to like anchor them back in that place. Remind them of who they really are, not this like awful leech that depression tells them they are, but like someone that you care about and offers value to the world. Tell them that they are loved and give them a place of truth to come back to. Like every time depression like pushes them away with lies, you just like stand firm and tell truth. Their brain is lying to them so much, so if you can like not do that and just like go in the other direction, that's amazing. Be conscientious. Listen to their experience of like how they feel and believe it. Share your own experience, recognize their limitations, just be aware of the complexities and difficulties of the situation and try to deal with it with as much grace as possible. Depression does freaky things to brains, so don't try to treat it like a normal thing. Both you and your friend are fighting like this bonkers brain monster, and it's just a weird situation, and sometimes it can lead to a really crappy set of circumstances for you both, so just be ready for that. Sometimes depression pushes people to be hurtful or bitter or the worst versions of themselves, and you are not obligated to put up with that all of the time. You are not like the single thing that will bring your friend out of darkness, and you need to take care of yourself as well, because you have just as much value as your friend that you are worried about. By wanting to help enough to have watched this entire thing, you're already doing amazing. I am so glad that there are people out there who like want this much to help. You are seriously doing great, and I am very thankful for you. I am going to answer any questions on the various places this is posted. If you have like specific concerns or just general comments, I will gladly help or pass them on and just kind of keep talking about this. Even though the Mental Health Month series is over, mental health never takes a break, you guys. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you with something a little less heavy very soon. Bye. So I did not realize how big of a deal like a slight angle change on the camera would. Here's what I looked like before. I moved it like 2 inches to the right, my dudes. Strong way of trying to bring the people from truth, happiness. Planning to bring them away from like truth, happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction, energy, self-esteem. That's gonna be real rough.